Okay, so another offline video. I guess I took the worst day off I possibly could have. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to stream tomorrow, so I might as well do it right now. I guess Nickmercs kind of responded to the situation with, like, his whole cancellation after his inappropriate tweet. And I made a video about that. I'll probably put it in the description. But yeah, he's talking about it a little bit. I think in this video he also talks about Hasan, because Hasan made a comment in his his video talking out against Nickmercs and his tweet. And so we're going to watch that one after. I want to watch the Nickmercs one first, to be honest with you, see what he has to say, and when it's relevant, we'll bring up the tweets again, because he talks a little bit about that. But let's get this started.
First of all, man, the DMs, the text messages, the phone calls, I got people pulling up in my crib. I got people coming up to me in my community. It's crazy. I will say shocking and a little bit scary, all the people that came to me privately, like DMs, phone calls, and texts. And it would always start with, hey man, can't publicly, go to bat for you, basically, is what they were saying. And I mean, I understand.
Well, I mean, I don't blame him. He said something pretty charged, so.
Not wanting to be in the mess, because, I mean, it gets a little bit crazy. I mean, I didn't want to be in it either, but at the same time, like, I stand by everything that I said. That's where I'm at. That's where I land. You can paint me up again to be anything you want me to be. That's what the internet does. They take 8 words and they spin it and twist it and finagle it while neglect.
So here's the thing. That's not true. But then also, I want to do like a little bit of a commentary here, because I think that we have a problem with disproportionate responses, and this is something that I said in my core video. But here's the tweet, right? There was basically in California, at a school board, they were voting on whether they were going to recognize Pride in school, and there was protesters and counter protesters. Okay, so, which is bizarre. It's not that big of a deal. It's just Pride. It really doesn't matter. And then Nickmercs' response was they should leave little children alone. That's the real issue. The problem I have is that that's not a proportionate response. I saw his follow-up where he was like, no, I actually meant I think that parents should explain this to their kids. And that's fine. That's more reasonable. I disagree with that, because I think you need to learn at age-appropriate times. You need to learn about LGBTQ people, like acceptance. There are kids that are gay, and they should be able to be comfortable, in order to function in the workforce. And that's part of what school is, to help you function in the workforce. You need to learn that people exist, and there is a lot of anti-LGBTQ responses. And so this quote in and of itself, whether he realizes it or not, it perpetuates the idea that gay people are groomers, and if I think that if he was honest about his tweet not meaning what he actually said, because this, like, little children, like, you realize that school is for people up to 18, right? Like, they're talking about Pride in schools. Like, we're not just talking about 5-year-olds. We're talking about 17 and 18-year-old people, and 16, 15-year-old people who that, like, you have to teach them gay people exist. So, like, it's not like it's just like 4-year-olds. So the argument doesn't hold up. It's this weird where the second that schools announced, you go right to little kids. Why? That doesn't make sense to me. It's not proportionate. It's not realistic. It's not the most kind of commonsensical place for your brain to go to. And to me, that feeds into the anti-LGBT, like, oh, they're going after our kids shit, which is just wrong. When it's just, I mean, again, I'm for age-appropriate education, of course. I don't think that 5-year-olds need to be learning anything super in-depth, or really probably nothing at all. I don't really know. They're probably too young, and that's fine. But, like, once you're like 12, 14, you kind of have to learn what a gay person is. It's helpful, especially by 14, especially by high school. Okay, let's say that, like, by high school, it's good to learn what a gay person is. They're just somebody who loves someone else. They love guys. A guy that's gay loves another guy. A girl that's gay loves another girl. Nothing wrong with that. I know people go like, well, it's sexuality, so it's sex. Not really. It's about love, right? And when you're 14 years old, you're supposed to start learning sexual health education anyway. So kids need to learn, like, age-appropriate stuff about safe sex and whatnot, because whether we like it or not, like, kids are experimenting with each other. That's just a fact. And so if you want to reduce unwanted, like, pregnancies and whatnot, and you want to get, like, abortions down, because we don't want a lot of I don't like, necessary evil. I'm not going to get into that, but you need to have comprehensive safe sex education, because abstinence doesn't work, right? So, and so that's the problem I have with it. I understand people may not be coming from that perspective, but my thing is that, that's not good. This does perpetuate a very, very, I think, harmful idea. People are going a little crazy. I don't think that he should have like immediately or really lost his COD sponsorship or whatever it was, his skins. I think it would have been more appropriate. Like, listen, sensitivity training. You know, you guys might cringe at that, but I've taken, you know, this is stuff that happens at like a real job. They could have said, listen, your tweet was insensitive. We need to have a conversation with you. Do like a thing if you want to keep it up there. And if he decided not to, okay. But at least that's, I think, a better pathway is like through education. I mean, it's like silly to just be like, all right, fuck you and disconnect. I think it's lazy. You know, if Activision or whatever it was, I think it is Activision, right? If they, you know, they care, put in the effort, right? You know, so I would have made the contingency like, hey, pull this down and here's like an education thing. But like I said, I feel like he should have pulled the tweet down, considering based on what I saw from him, that he doesn't even agree with this tweet. Or at least that's what his messaging would suggest to me. If you're like, no, I just think parents should talk about it. Like, okay, but like this doesn't make any sense to me. Nobody's going after little kids. Like, it's not happening. Like, the LGBT community isn't trying to attack your kids. I mean, it's like, relax a little bit. And so I have the problem with that. So, you know, but I will say people do go a little bit crazy. They get a little bit cancer culture-y. They get very disproportionate. I think that's I think it's okay to meet somebody with like a, hey, this is just kind of not right. Chill out kind of a thing, you know? Somebody at like a family party might say something like that. And you don't go, oh my God, I'm not gonna be your mom, your son anymore, or whatever. You know, my mother wouldn't say that, but like maybe an uncle would. You know, you try to have like, you're like, all right, whatever, like just leave it alone. So I think that people need to chill out a little sometimes when people say like kind of wild stuff. It's a little disproportionate, and like maybe just try to engage like properly and like more realistic discourse about it. So, and that, I don't know if Nickmercs is up to the realistic discourse. I mean, but okay.
Acting and pushing to the side who you actually are, everything that you've said, your entire life being on the internet for 10 fucking years straight. They're just going to put that all to the side and say, oh, see? So many people privately, Chad, so many people. I started to get kind of annoyed by it. We were off for a week, and towards the end of this, there had been so many people that were like, hitting me up. I kind of began to get annoyed. I didn't want to hear it anymore. I mean, if you really feel this way, why don't you speak up? Why don't you say that you agree? Or why don't you say that you disagree? There's nothing wrong with conversation. You don't have to agree or disagree with everybody on everything in the world, man. You know, you can have conversations about things, especially important things. There's nothing wrong with that. We don't have to hate each other. But then again, we don't have to be perfectly aligned across the board. That's the beautiful thing about life.
Sure, and that's great. But the problem with that is again, if he had said, like, I think that parents should be the ones to teach people this, nobody would be that outraged. And so for whatever reason, he said something that was very sensationalized, which is they need to leave little kids alone. And it's not like an opinion anymore. Like, now you are suggesting that they're grooming people. Like, that's the suggestion. And I know people are upset when I say that, but it's just what it is, whether he meant it or not, whether he's sitting there. I doubt that he's sitting there thinking about LGBTQ things all day. But that's what happened. That's what you're saying, like whether you realize it or not, because what little kids are involved. We're talking about implementing like pride acknowledgement for like up to 12th grade. Right? Again, you could say, I hope that they're having age appropriate conversations with people in the acknowledgement of pride. But most of the acknowledgement's just going to mean like a flag somewhere. Hey, let's put the flag in a school. Okay. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal. It's just teaching acceptance of gay people. It's really not. It's nothing. It's not a thing. It's not a big deal. So
life. And I got all these people. I have a lot of people that think I hate them because they are a certain way. And that is just crazy. I said it in the other stream. I say it again. It's just so fucking far from the truth. You know what I mean? And then a bunch of these articles painted me up. A lot of the headlines said anti-LGB. You know, that's what they said.
No.
That's what that comment was. It was anti. What? How the fuck was that anti? It had not. It was
the comment itself is. I doubt that this guy is like anti-LGBTQ. I don't think that he like really engages in the discourse, because like, who wants to engage in political discourse all day, right? But that's yeah. But again, like articles do become very sensationalized, and like that's what like, they want to pull you in. Look at this guy. He hates gay. I doubt this guy hates gay people. This guy is probably just like, I don't want to say uncomfortable. He's probably just like really like probably has like a normal perspective on gay people, where it's like I don't really care about it, but like he's succumb a little bit to the public like, you know, conservative narrative that there's like crazy gay shit going on. But then at the same time, you know, because I was talking to my wife about this today about like drag and stuff. Me personally, like I don't care if my kid is like sees a drag queen, regardless of how old they are, because they're not going to like magically turn gay, because that's not how it works. It's just not. My kid's not going to turn gay. But also, it's like, why are we using drag queens to promote LGBTQ conversations and discourse? I mean, like, really think about it, right? First of all, just on surface level, drag is typically for gay men, and like anybody can do it technically, but it mostly appeals to like gay men. There's very few drag kings, which are like women who dress up, like guys. It's just not something popular, and so you have like such like a niche subculture in the LGBTQ, which is used to promote the entirety of the LGBTQ. It's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Why not just have a guy who happens, like a teacher, like a teacher that just happens to be gay, be the person to educate people? You know what I mean? And I think, I don't know why it is that. Part of me, I think maybe there is like the intention of being provocative. And I don't know if that's true, just to try to kind of get people to tune into the conversation. I don't know if it's productively getting people to tune in, because again, Gay Straight Alliance, I think it's been going on since like 1988. So people haven't been this riled up. And so I think that the focus on drag maybe is a kind of a problem, because I don't think, like, even though I don't think it's a problem, like most people are looking at that like, why is that the next step? You know, wouldn't the next step be just learning that it's cool to be gay? Like, it doesn't matter. And then I think that's part of it. I think that part of it's conservative. It's because conservatives aren't being realistic back. It's not like conservatives are going like, yo, why drag queens? Like, wouldn't it be better if we just taught kids age appropriate education on like being accepting of LGBTQ people? You know, that's all we need to do. But conservatives aren't really saying that. You know, again, it was just last year when they were trying to ban gay marriage. And so it's like one of those things where I think that things are it's maybe with that education, it goes a little far with using drag queens to represent the entirety of the LGBTQ community when it's like not even close to most people. Most people are just like you or I working a job. But then also like conservatives aren't offering a counterbalance perspective. It's just like no to everything. You know, maybe it should be like a yes and yes but let's chill a little bit. Just have a regular teacher. You know what I mean? So maybe that's part of it.
Just listen. These kids are very young. Can't they just go be kids? Can't they just be children?
What kids are? This is the problem. Is he's making this assumption that they're little kids, but that's not it. Right? It's like I imagine that the school district covers like, let's say, K through 12, and you might be like, I don't think kindergartners should learn that. Okay, I can agree with you. I mean, I don't think it's necessary. With the they're just learning how to fart, poop in the toilet. So, but like why not? Like, but that's not what it was. It wasn't for kindergartners. This was for the school district, which encompasses up to 18-year-olds that are in school, right? So it's not about little kids, and it's just like, why do you keep going to the little kid argument? It's not just little kids, but
nothing to do with that. Every headline said that. Did you read them? Yo, Jesus Christ, man. But I shouldn't focus too much on that, man. I mean, listen, the fact of the matter is a lot of people agreed with what I said. Some people didn't. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I feel confident about the way I've handled myself throughout the process, because, bro, they really did try to cancel me. You have companies calling companies, you have friends calling friends, you got people calling people, trying to paint me up to be something that I'm not and bring it all down. But the fact of the matter is listen, man, and I told the whole team this. I said, bro, we got one of the fucking greatest communities in this entire gaming space, man. I know that, they know that, you know that, everybody knows that. So companies and partnerships, and though I value them greatly, putting those to the side, this is what's most important. And it always has been to me. It's been cool to pull the trigger and be in a spot to do big business with big time brands and companies. But at the same time, man, at the end of the day, it's like the perspective of having a kid is wild, man. You look down on a little version of yourself and you're just like, yo, you want to do everything and anything in your power to make sure that, he just has a better life than you, and you care so much about him. I saw that. I mean, it was a quick tweet for me. I probably could have changed a few things around, to not get everybody so upset. But there were some people that really put their foot down out there.
Well, here's the thing. I can definitely, I respect that. Like, he wants to keep his kid protected. And I think that's a beautiful thing and priority number one in life, right? But then I want you to kind of think about, like, what do you feel like you're protecting your kid from? And that's the real question, right? It's like, I want to keep my kid protected. Okay, from what? Like, from gay people that want to, like, what do you think is going to happen if they learn? And that's the question. It's not an antagonistic question. Like, I don't think he's a bad guy, bro. Like, dude, he reminds me of, like, just the dudes I used to work with. Like, some guys, they just have different, at the end of the day, they're there to do a job, and they have a family, and they support their family, and they love their family, and they work hard for their family, and they just have different ideas, and I get that. And some of them, in my opinion, this is a dangerous idea, or the way that he presented it. If he didn't push it as coming off as gay people being groomers, and it was just like, I don't think that's something that belongs. Like, I think parents should teach people that. I'd be fine with it, but that's not what was said. And if he had said, like, hey, listen, this is what I meant, and clarified it, which I didn't see in any tweet, I guess I could scroll up, but I couldn't find it, then it would be different. But he did talk about it. I understand that. on his podcast or excuse me, like a video or like on a stream, but you know, you should have done that on Twitter, I think, and just be like, hey guys, like I meant this instead. You know, it's just like, well, what are you really like? What are you afraid of? Like a gay person existing around your kid? Like, what is it that scares you about your kid like about kids? They're learning age appropriate LGBTQ like discourse. You know, like what's the part that makes you afraid? That makes you go into protector mode for your kid? Because that's the part where I'm just like, well, protect them from what? You know what I mean?
That was crazy. That's a crazy thing from Doc. You know, Doc's always been in my corner for a long time now. You guys know him and I go way back. It's unfortunate what's happened in the bigger business. I don't know, man. It's my guy, bro. It's my guy. I appreciate the way that he spoke out.
Yeah,
I really do. You know,
it's good to have friends.
But yeah, we got to see a lot of true colors, man. Chat, you guys are unreal, man. The amount of DMs and shit I had from y'all the whole week, man. By the way, listen, it was a great week. I mean, I wasn't online. I was off the grid, but it was a great week. It was really weird being in the middle of like political stuff though, man. Because, you know, I always told you guys I don't want to get political up in this bitch. But man, they just be dragging you all into shit. Hey, if you're gay, don't got no problem here, man. No problems here. All right. And I support you. Chill. Don't let them tell you that I don't. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I got no problem with you, man. Zero. Cranking, what up, man? All love. We roll with the punches around here, come back stronger. Sad that people twist things to fit the narratives, but the real ones see through every day. Like, hey.
Again, I don't know that it's an issue with like twisting things to fit a narrative. I think it's more sensationalizing things to make money, right? Like oh my God, anti-LGBTQ Nickmercs, blah, blah. It's not. He's not like anti-LGBTQ. I think that he has like an ignorant, misguided perspective. And so like that's the problem though. I mean, I guess you can interpret it the way he is, you know. But that's really what it comes down to. It's a real problem.
Reagan, you know what I mean? You know, there ain't nothing wrong with having a little bit of conversation, man. You know, and there's nothing wrong with also, you know, talking about something.
It'd be pretty chill if he was open to a conversation. Reach out to me, Nick. No, he wouldn't do that. I'm like fucking big nobody. Big fat nobody. I wonder if he would have talked to Hasan before Hasan like blew. I guess he kind of broke the thing. He kind of like I guess what would you say? It kind of broke the. I know that they're not talking anymore. He was offended by like something he said to Doc, and we're gonna get into that later.
Some of these things, but just not around, you know, very very young children. There's a lot that we should talk about, you know.
And again, nobody brought up young children except for Nick. So I mean, yeah. So that's one of the things to keep in mind.
You know, we should get a better understanding on all of these things, and so I mean, like people were saying that I don't want it to be talked about. That's not what I didn't say that. Hey B, what's up, bro? The thought process is, and people think I can't see this, but the thought process is that, you know, if you have an opinion that insinuates a lot more, you know, it can be damaging, and I understand that. But I went on and I clarified my entire thought process in my tweet. And after you see that in that, I mean, you should just know that it wasn't anti-gay. And you can.
It was still. It was what you said was so. Like I okay, cool, man. You disagree with it. I think that at this point, it's almost like an ego thing. It's like I don't want to remove the tweet just on the foundation that I don't want to remove the tweet. Like I don't want to be given to cancel culture. And I actually, on like one hand, I can respect that because it's something that I say a lot. Is there are content creators who will get like hit with bullshit and then they'll instantly fold, you know? And it's just like, okay, and now you're signaling to people that they can get you to do anything anytime they have a complaint, right? So I can respect it from that angle, totally get that. But then also from like a human angle, I think it would be like a productive thing to just be like, you know what, like I'm gonna remove the tweet or not even remove it. I'm going to retweet it again, whatever it's called, where you like comment on your own tweet. And I'm going to fucking say XYZ. You know, this time I'm going to say like, oh, this is what I actually meant. You know, do that. Like put the ego aside a little bit and just kind of do that. I think that maybe would make some people like a little more satisfied, at least. Not everybody, of course. But I you know, to me, I'd be like, okay, cool. I respect that. You know?
You can think that all you want. So that was the thought process for a lot of people, is that they were just like, you know, hey, you got to hold yourself to a standard because, you know, you have a lot of people that follow you and you're going to, you know, influence them to spew hate and all that. And I mean, listen, that's not my intention. It's not. But I stand very firm, very firm. You know, I've spoke with all the people that I trust the most in my life, especially my wife.
Yeah, this is it.
You know, and we feel very, very adamant about the fact that, you know, we want to be the ones to speak to our children about those things.
And that's another thing that I could respect, because I always talk about how, like, as an online content creator, you need to have a person that can ground you in the real world, because you're gonna get like so much criticism, and a lot of it doesn't matter. Like, even if because I do truly believe Nickmercs is in the wrong, but people are going to be very disproportionate about like going after you about you being wrong, regardless. You know what I mean? Like, it's even when you're wrong, people are so disproportionate and toxic about it. And I do truly question how many of the people calling Nick out actually care about the LGBTQ community versus how many of the people are just like, oh my God, look, a bad person, that somebody they perceive as bad. I want to bully the fuck out of this guy. You know, I feel like that's part of it too, because people are rotten. They want to like hurt people sometimes, and it's like, you know, maybe you speak out of ignorance and you get completely fucking dumpstered, and I can respect that. But again, I do disagree. Like, kids need to learn about LGBTQ shit, and I think it's better that we have comprehensive, like, just better education on it from like a school perspective. Let me just reset my camera. From a school perspective, I think is so much. It's just better than just your teachers, parents teaching you, because personally, I think everybody needs to learn this. They need to learn acceptance. I'm not saying have deep gender studies classes. You know, you want to have that as an elective for like 16-year-olds or something. I don't really give a shit, but just fundamentally, you know, some kind of something. And again, we're just talking about them recognizing pride, having like pride, and then having like maybe like an assembly or something that's like, here's why it's cool to be gay, or it's okay to be gay. You know, I don't know if it's cool to be gay. It's neutral. It's the same as being straight, right? But two sticks instead of a stick and a stone. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Anyway, you get my point.
It's really as simple as that. It's not rocket science. You know, if people disagree, that's okay. You can disagree. There's nothing wrong with that. But calling me like a homophobe, and then articles coming out where Nickmercs is anti-LGBT, fucking QTP, you know, that's just not.
I don't think you're really helping yourself out with the QTP thing. Like, it's like, you know, when people, usually one sign that people aren't huge fans of LGBTQ people is when they start going like LGBT, LMNOP, kind of. So probably just from an optics perspective, probably not the best way to go.
That's fucking ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous because it's just not true. And I didn't say that. So, I mean, you can spin it, but that's not what the fuck it is. Sometimes I feel like people are just waiting, chat. They're waiting.
Let's try to get
I feel like they're just on the sidelines waiting, you know? And as soon as anything in the littlest bit pops off, they take it, spin it, unconnect it, connect it again, you know, and put it out there, you know, just to get it going. W Tim. It's a tough spot to be in for Tim, and not only for Tim, but for a lot of my friends that are big time content creators themselves, because, right, you put yourselves where we are, you know, it's like we tweet something, we fart, and it gets like 100,000 impressions. I mean, seriously.
Sure.
So you really do got to kind of be careful, because you don't want to fucking, you don't want the target on your fucking back. And I mean, Timmy's always been a kind of guy where he plays it down the center, man. He doesn't like to swing one way or the other, you know what I mean? He stays very non-combative, you know, but he called me and we spoke for a while, you know.
That's cool.
And I think that the truth in it is that you guys know that Tim and I have hung out so many times in person. We've gone on vacations together. We've stayed at each other's houses. We're very, very good friends for a lot of years now. Clock included, you know, they know who I am. So when they see their friend being painted up as this guy, listen, the popular thing to say was anti-gay. When they see that, I mean, you guys got friends, you got homies.
But just, you know, like, that's what it was. but okay, we already talked about this like 8 times.
That's fucked up if it isn't true. My actions and the things that I've said kind of dragged everybody in it. So again, I kind of feel bad about the crossfire. Anyway, but P, I appreciate you, man, and all you guys. Thank you. I was talking with my wife. We had agreed. Chad, let me know if you agree on this. Do you think that these are crazy times, but also the best of times? Like I told her, you know, there's some crazy stuff out there, and you know, of course, everything's perspective. Yeah. But you know, when you lay out the world and all of the years, I like being alive today. You know.
Okay, cool. That was that video. So now let's do the Hasan one. All right, we're gonna do the Hasan video now. Just to be clear, I didn't watch the Hasan video, you know, about Nickmercs. I'm assuming it kind of falls in the line with what I said. And for the most part, I wouldn't doubt that there's something that's a little antagonistic coming from Hasan. And I will say fundamentally, you know, if the goal is to engage in discourse that is like helpful to LGBTQ people, especially as somebody who doesn't identify with the community and, you know, shouldn't get riled up as much as somebody, because, you know, when you are LGBTQ, it's much more personal to you, which is totally understandable, I think. But that's one of the points of, like, you know, somebody who might be like an ally who doesn't identify should be able to not get charged up by something and have better discourse. And so, like, he said at least one thing that was a little charged, which he probably shouldn't have said. I know that was about Doc's, like, you know, wife or whatever. Or it was about, like, he's saying, like, oh, he's more, you know, Nick or Doc is more loyal to Nick than he is to his wife or something. So, you know, a little antagonistic. I don't know if it's that big of a deal, but he shows it in this video. Let's get this going.
Through Hasan and all of you who support him, there's a lot of drama.
I said the same thing. Yeah.
There's a lot of drama, Will.
Why?
Apparently, Nickmercs is very upset at me.
You didn't even say anything, did you?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I saw it on Dexerto this morning. Apparently, Dr. Disrespect called me fat phony, which I think is pretty funny. And then also Nickmercs has some words to say as well. Please, not the good vibes. I mean, it doesn't matter. This kind of stuff is not going to upset me in any meaningful capacity because I'm having a great time. And also,
everybody seems to be having a good time.
I am not a 41-year-old doing cosplay every day.
Who's that?
Who was upset about the same joke that everyone has made a million times over about
You're
him,
going after the two-time?
about him cheating on his wife.
Oh, you can't go after the two-time.
I'm fucking.
Hey, works for him, man.
I made one fucking. I read one fucking comment. I read one comment from chat, which everyone knew that like everyone has made a million times over, and all hell broke loose. These guys who are like, you wouldn't survive in a modern warfare Call of Duty lobby.
Yeah, too many slurs. What's the criticism there? There's too many slurs for you to survive. Shit.
Are like losing
You'd be
their
surprised.
minds. How dare he say the two-time cheated on his wife? What the fuck? But you know that's what's going on.
You know, I wonder, because it does seem like it's not good. Like, you shouldn't cheat on your wife, but at the same time, or your spouse. You know, you shouldn't cheat on your husband either. Hot take, guys. You shouldn't cheat on your partner. Okay, we got to be super trans affirming here. But you know, I don't know their relationship. I don't know the specifics that are going on in their life. You know, obviously Hasan isn't friends with them. I would assume they seem like they're from different worlds. But more than that, like, even without saying all that, Hasan doesn't seem like the kind of guy who can make like fun, edgy jokes without sounding like a dickhead. And so I kind of wonder if that's part of it too. Like, I wonder if they're just like, they're taking it more seriously, because Hasan, like, if I wouldn't make that joke, you know, because that's their relationship. But like, if I made the joke, I like to think, at least, that I like to make like fun with my jokes. You know, I'm just having a little bit of fun here, and I'll usually even say I'm just kidding, because I don't want people to think. You know, I make jokes all the time. I like edgy jokes. I'll make an edgy joke about I'm just fucking around. You know, like, we'll be talking about women's rights, and then I'll talk about hitting them with the left. You know, but I'll be like, I'm just joking, because I don't want people to think I'm being serious. And I wonder if part of it's just Hasan doesn't have the correct capacity to make a joke, because he comes off as very serious and kind of rude and dickish. So I wonder wonder if that's part of it. Oh, a treasure goblin.
You walked in on me cheating with Austin.
I know. So I know how it is. He implied he'd be afraid to say it to his face. I think he's just doing a character when he says stuff like that. I don't think he like means, but he means it. But I think Nick does mean this, because he did unfollow me after this. But Nick recently went live. You know, man I broke bread with, met and hung out with. His wife I met and hung out with. I tried to talk to him about the whole like LGBT stuff. It didn't work, you know? You can't.
I wonder why he didn't want to have the conversation. Because at least, I mean, if Hasan was open to it, I think it would have been a really good idea, personally. You know, but somebody to talk to him, be like, "Hey, bro, come on, man. This makes my pee-pee sad. You know, makes me a little sad boy."
Put them all. What are you gonna do?
What do you say?
Let's hear it. I haven't even watched it. I just saw the tweet and saw the interactions and the
I
engagement.
wonder how he approached the topic of this.
And, you know, I think up until that week, Hasan and I were pretty cool. And I know he's not going to lose any sleep over our
Why is Hasan's thing so? Why is that so loud?
relationship or anything, man. I'm not either. But after hearing him say what he said about Doc, that motherfucker's dead to me.
Damn.
I DM'd him as soon as I heard it, and I said, you know what? Have your opinions. We can agree to disagree. You can say the things that you want to say, of course. But you're going to go up there and say that shit about Doc on his fucking his anniversary, right?
Damn, he knew?
Wait, how am I supposed to know his fucking Dr. Disrespect's anniversary, bro? Like, why
What did you say?
That was not me. I'm assuming that they were. I was probably like the person that's probably wasn't even Hasan. That was probably the person's like the YouTube channel that this is. Anyway, he probably isn't going to know that, but it sounds like they worked it out. You know what I mean? And that's good. That's her choice. And you know, what I mean? It's just like a sensitive topic. Like, it's between the two of them. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that joke. You know, it's one of those things where, like, if you hate Dr. Disrespect, and Hasan made that joke, and he knew he was going to burn a bridge, it's like, okay. You know, I just feel like those are fighting words. You know what I mean? You should know that. You know, I think that's a little downplay. Like, oh, you cheat on your wife. Blah, blah, blah. I think it's a little bit of a downplay to not acknowledge that that's going to be an antagonistic thing. Like, you had to have known you were going to burn a bridge there.
know what I said?
Yeah.
Let's finish this and I'll show you what I said.
Guy's anniversary. And you're saying shit like that
What was that laugh?
in front of all those people? You're just gonna let that rip? All right. I mean, fuck.
The anniversary.
I mean, listen. I'm not. I'm not fucking showing up.
So, what was the comment? What was the comment? Does anyone in the chat have it? Here, I'll find it real quick.
Okay, let's hear it. I'm stunned.
Making fun of the dog is too far, but calling LGBT people groomers isn't apparently. Of course not. Also, it's a week old clip that Dex reposted today. Dexerto reposted today. Oh, Nickmercs said that last week. I thought this was I thought this was like new or something. I didn't even realize these motherfuckers are just like reigniting drama, so that like I get yelled at on Twitter for no fucking reason.
Hey, based.
But he said that today. Oh, okay, no, the Dr. Disrespect thing is old. Okay, so he got mad at what I said about Dr. Disrespect, right? Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Okay.
Oh, this is it. This is the fucking the OG video.
He is
has
more
it in here.
loyal.
I think this has it.
Yes, he is more loyal to. He's more loyal to Nickmercs having his skin than his own wife. I know.
Like
He got that's it. That's the reason why they're mad.
Okay.
Because that's why they're mad.
Oh boy.
I mean, you think that's real? You think that's real anger? You think that's real outrage? Brother, that's like the Forced CD is like literally, it's like...
That probably is, considering that's like between him and his wife. It's probably real anger, It's one of those things where I've obviously as like a public figure, some of your stuff gets pushed into the foreground, the forefront is how you want to say it, but, it's like, it's still kind of a private thing,
Seeing Forced CD in your chat and like fucking foaming out of the mouth over it. You know what I mean?
Listen, you know me.
It's fake out.
I'm just a big advocate for everybody to get along. Okay.
Me too.
And I'm in Japan. I'm big hungover. I don't have
No, these guys are...
eloquence
What?
to mend.
No, there's no mending, and it doesn't even matter. Here's the thing, okay? I think the reason why people are doing this is because they want to desperately deflect away from the main point of contention, and they just kind of want to, yeah, which is kind of like an easy way, because like you see on Twitter, if you say fuck Hasan, everybody loves it, and that's pretty much it. Like that's it, because he makes fun of it. You know what I mean? Dr. Disrespect makes fun of the whole like 2-time shit. You know what I mean? Dr. Disrespect
I
called.
wonder how his wife feels about that. I feel like that would be like like getting cheated on is like an embarrassing moment when it comes, especially when it becomes public. So it's like, but if Hasan's point there, and maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but it sounds like what Hasan's point there is like, hey, I think people are only going after me as like a deflection from the real problem. I don't think that that's true, because I don't think that people see that as a real problem. What Nickmercs says, which is a problem to me, obviously. But I don't think people are like, okay, we got to run defense for Nickmercs. Like, what if we just like overreact to this statement? But I think it's more just like, people probably overreact in general, but more just like they don't, a lot of people just don't really care about LGBTQ discourse or getting stunned constantly in a fight. And so like, that's more of a priority to them, that, their favorite streamer was disrespected, and something that they just don't really care to put energy into. And again, I think that that's wrong, but I also wouldn't assume that they're just trying to play like, 10,000 IQ deflection game,
I'll do fat. Yeah, I know. I saw.
Same, There's no way that's a real laugh.
That hurts. That hurts.
That has to be a
That's
sign.
like who's this fat phony? Hasan?
I think he wasn't saying I was fat. I think he was saying like he's a big fat phony. Yeah.
Phony Hasan? Hasan? Hasan?
Let's get it, baby.
Get him.
This fat phony? He's so concerned about everything. He's concerned about the 2-time and what it's like. These
He's slipping a little bit on that one. It seems like he was. It seems like he was just like he's still trying to keep up appearances. Like, yeah, I'm in character on this one. Yeah, he's a big fat phony, but he's like.
Wait, that's from something. That guy's a phony. He's a big fat phony.
I don't know, but
people, man. This guy wouldn't. See, he wouldn't. See, that's the thing too. Like, he wouldn't say these type of things.
It seems like he really just doesn't give a shit. Actually, I'm looking at it.
you wouldn't say that to me, Lan. I get the hottest bitches, dude. Okay, I hang with the sexiest girls. Okay.
Bro, this okay thing's really bothering me, because I'm gonna be real with you. I remember I started picking up like the okay after making like a little sentence or a point. After I was like, we were watching like too much Destiny at one point. That's something I want, and I picked up on it like unintentionally, right? And now you got fucking Hasan doing the okay. I swear to God, what are these motherfuckers watching Destiny or something? Because that's what that comes from. Okay, 1,000%. It's just like wild. So if Hasan is a confirmed Destiny enjoyer, fucking based, am I right, guys? How much to unlock another slot? Only 100k. Ooh, I poo-pooed. Cool.
time. Okay, I hang out with the sexiest ladies. Okay, let me tell you something.
Okay,
maybe a little too much. Okay, you wouldn't say that to me. You wouldn't say that to my fucking face, dog.
Or is that like a doc thing? I don't know.
You do not need this energy.
I mean, I'm having fun with it. I don't give a shit.
I know.
He's saying he would assault you for a joke. It's not serious, Chad. He's not actually gonna fight me over a joke. Okay.
Assault him.
I think my speculation is
assault.
This is a contract stipulation for Kick.
They're like,
if you want to join Kick, you have to say mean things about Hasan, about how he sucks, and then we'll give you $30 million. Okay, just say like anything. Just be like Hasan bag.
I gotta tell you, that's gonna be really hard for me when I move over.
Dude, fucking do it, dude.
Just badmouth
fucking
you.
do it all day, baby. I don't give a shit. Get that money. Get that fucking cryptocurrency.
Right. Listen, if I'm gonna buy the Jets, I need to make
no,
executive decisions, bro.
Yeah, I know. You have to shit on me a couple times. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My top of the hour.
Damn, imagine that was really a thing. You had to talk shit about Hasan to make money from Kick. Like that wouldn't be a grift though. That would just be like a reward. Imagine getting getting paid to speak straight factuals. You know?
Right.
Yeah. It's like I got contract stipulations. Like I need to run ad breaks. You need to say Hasan sucks.
Pretty cool. Pretty based.
But yeah. Funny thing is, when you said what you said, you were reading a chatter. I know, but that doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I will own it. Like, I'll stand by it. It's not. I'm not trying to like deflect away from that. That's something that I would say regardless. Just like a million people have said it regardless. Like I don't think it's that serious at all. I think it's like perfectly valid.
I don't need this.
It's perfectly valid to make that joke.
The aspect.
And you know, they're just mad. They're big mad. It doesn't really matter.
I swear I just grabbed an aspect.
All the people that came to me privately, you know what I mean? Like DMs, phone calls, and texts.
Bro, I just like fucking extracted an aspect from like an item. Where the fuck is it?
And it would always start with, "Hey man, can't publicly, you know, go to bat for you." Basically, that's what they were saying. They just don't want to be. And I mean, I understand not wanting to be in the mess because I mean, it gets a little bit crazy. I mean, I didn't want to be in it either, but at the same time, like I stand by everything that I said, and that's
like,
where.
Nick, you know, when you said DeSantis the GOAT, like I felt it. That's what I'm imagining. Like you know, Lily Pichu reaching out to Nickmercs.
Don't drag Lily into this.
Just like, who's the funniest content creator who would like reach out to Nickmercs to say Austin?
Iron Mouse would be pretty funny too.
Or Austin. Austin's like, yeah, dude, this gay shit is fucking lame, dog. Okay, let me tell you, I would love to have you on a lover host. Would you be down? I know you have a wife and children, a child, but I will literally just, you know, say whatever you want to say. Saikuno. Yeah, he's just like, Saikuno reached out to Nickmercs. That's funny. But yeah, it is what it is. Has Ira Mouse would never say that. So that's the drama, which is not. Here's the beautiful thing about like covering drama from Japan is that you immediately have like a very different assessment of the situation. Because last time I had this conversation with like XUC and Your Rage, I think it was about like anti-white racism or whatever. And people were like, oh dude, like I can't believe Hasan is so fucking racist. And Hasan is so racist against white people. And I was sitting there thinking like, I'm having a fucking incredible time.
Well, yeah, I remember that. It's like his weird obsession with like using the word cracker. You know, it's not racist. You can't be racist to white people. Like, okay, mate, who cares? Like that discourse doesn't even matter. It's distraction discourse. No, like that's not an agreeable position. It's just meant to like be like, oh, I'm a good guy. I'm not white. I hate white people. It's just like dumb. Like it doesn't actually forward discourse. It really is a virtue signal when it boils down to it. It's really just like a virtue signal to say that kind of shit because it distracts from like actual discourse about you know, the oppressive shit, like systemic oppression. But I'm not gonna get into it. And
why are we even having a conversation about this shit? Like it really changes my my frame of reference whenever I look at this kind of stuff when I'm having
seems
a
to be
great
a
time
priority
overall.
when it comes to talking about those topics.
Yeah, it's so not real. It is very fake. It's manufactured. It's pointless. It's really fucking stupid. It's you know, Twitch streamers in America versus Hasan in Japan. Yeah, it's just I'm here to have fun. The real drama. However, you want to know what the fucking real drama is?
Anyway.
Listen, you want to know how I got two-timed? Okay, because I fucking got two-timed, Chad. I got two-timed.
I don't know.
There's no two ways around it. I got fucking two-timed in my own home, Chad.
Okay,
In my own home. Latest
There is
episode.
absolutely nothing.
Do not watch the latest episode of Fear and because something absolutely devastating and horrible
seems like
happened
it's
in the latest
a
episode of
waste
Fear
of
and
30 seconds.
I'm issuing a trigger warning for you guys. I'm gonna show you what it is, okay? But like I didn't even know this was happening at the time.
Listen, I was off 48 hours of Diablo.
Okay, enough of that. All right, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. There's not a whole lot else to say.